Okay, so today we're going to dive into something I think a lot of our listeners can relate to, and that is how to handle those long flights,
Uh,
those really long flights.
Absolutely.
And I mean, for our listeners who are maybe making that trek from, Australia all the way over to Latin America,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Sydney to Santiago, that's like, what, 13, 14 hours?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, so we're talking a serious chunk of time where, boredom can set in.
Oh, sure.
So we wanted to look into some ways to make those long hours fly by, so to
Love
speak.
it, the most of it.
Yeah, and we got a whole bunch of different suggestions here.
Yep, we sure do.
All right, so let's maybe start with some stuff that people can do on their own,
Okay, cool.
some creative things.
I like it.
So first up, reading,
Classic.
right? I mean, this one's kind of obvious, but I think it's worth mentioning just because, if you're a reader,
Yeah,
you can really get lost in a book
you can.
for hours.
Oh, yeah.
So whether it's, novels or magazines or, loading up your e-reader,
Yeah.
that could be a really good way to make a big dent in that flight time.
Yeah, and it's interesting to think about, the different formats, how they work.
Oh, yeah.
Like a big, thick novel that can really pull you in
Yeah.
to another world, which, some people say that can help you feel less isolated,
Oh, interesting.
which on a long flight
Yeah.
by yourself could be a good thing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Whereas, magazines are good for like shorter bursts.
Yeah, just pick it up, put it down.
Exactly. Yeah, if you're feeling a bit restless or whatever. And then, of course, there's audiobooks,
Oh, yeah.
which are great if your eyes are tired.
Right, or if the lights are dimmed on the plane.
Exactly. So it's like whatever works for you
Yeah, at
at
that
that moment.
All right. So moving on from reading, what about bringing a sketchbook?
Ooh.
Now, you don't have to be like a great artist or anything,
Right.
but just the act of doodling can be
Yeah.
kind of absorbing.
Right.
And I saw this suggestion about sketching your fellow passengers,
Okay.
which I thought was kind of fun.
A little cheeky. Yeah.
Yeah, but also like a cool way to observe people.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, especially for kids, right?
Oh,
Like
it
that would be a great way to keep them entertained.
totally keeps them busy and they're not, staring at a screen the whole time.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really important thing is like engaging with your surroundings, instead of just being passive.
Yeah.
And like you said, especially for kids, like creating something,
Yeah.
it's more rewarding than just watching something.
Totally. And it like fires up their imagination.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried sketching on a plane?
I'm not much of an artist myself.
Okay.
Like my skills kind of stop at stick figures,
Okay.
but I do like the idea.
Yeah.
It's definitely more interesting than just, staring at the back of the seat in front of you.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so speaking of things you can do with your hands, how about origami?
Oh, origami.
Yeah. Have you ever done much origami?
I've dabbled.
I have too. And it's one of those things where it's like so simple,
Yeah.
right?
It is just paper.
Just paper.
Yeah.
But then it can get so complicated.
It can.
And you can really lose track of time.
You do. It's very absorbing.
Yeah, you're like so focused on like
The full.
the folds. Yeah,
Yeah.
like figuring out how to make the shapes and
Yes. And then you
Yeah.
have this little creation at the end,
yes,
which
exactly.
is very satisfying.
So that's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, here's another one that I thought was kind of fun, and it reminded me of being a kid,
Okay.
making a cartoon flip book.
Oh, yeah.
You know those little pads where you draw a slightly different picture on each page,
Uh-huh.
and then you flip through them?
And it looks like it's moving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like you're a little animator,
That's so cool.
right? Just with a pad of paper.
Yeah.
So again, very simple supplies, but you're using your creativity,
You are.
and you end up with something tangible,
You do.
which I think is nice, especially when
Yeah.
you're traveling.
Yeah, it's like a little project.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's fun to see it come to life,
Yes, when you slip through it,
Yeah.
it's like, wow, I made that.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, last one in this kind of creative category.
Okay.
Adult coloring books,
Oh, yeah.
or kids coloring books too,
Yeah,
obviously.
for everyone.
But I think especially for adults,
Mm-hmm.
like they've become
Really popular.
so popular. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like a way to de-stress,
Yeah.
like a form of meditation almost.
It is. Yeah, it's very calming.
Just filling in those intricate patterns.
Yeah, and it can be surprisingly time-consuming.
Yeah, you get so focused
You do.
on staying in the lines
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
choosing the right colors.
Yeah.
And
Yes, and it's not like it's super intense focus.
right.
It's kind of relaxing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good one.
Okay, so that's some stuff that people could do on their own, but what about engaging with the people around you?
Oh, that's fun.
All right, so first off, music.
Of course.
I mean, this one is like a must-have for so many people.
Oh, yeah.
But the key here is to make sure you have it downloaded. Don't rely on the plane's Wi-Fi
Right. That's so important.
because it could be spotty or it could cost money.
Yeah, exactly.
So like before you leave,
Yes.
get all your playlists set,
Yep.
your albums, your podcasts, whatever you want to listen to.
Yeah. And speaking of podcasts, they're a great option too.
Oh, yeah.
If you're tired of music or you want something a bit different,
Yeah.
there's so much good content out there.
Like literally something for everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what about games?
Oh, games.
Yeah, like bringing some travel-size games,
Okay.
like dice or little four in a row or travel Monopoly.
Those are good.
And then there's always, the classics that don't need anything like
Yeah.
Hangman or I Spy.
Yep, those are fun.
Have you ever seen people playing games on a plane?
I have, and it's always nice to see,
Yeah.
because it breaks up that, like
Like the anonymity.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like you're all in this together,
Yeah.
and you can have a bit of fun and a laugh, and, you might even make a friend.
Yeah, for sure. All right, what about this one, chatting with your fellow passengers?
So interesting.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Everyone on that plane,
Yeah.
they all have their own story.
They do?
They're all going somewhere for a reason.
Yeah.
So you might end up having like a really interesting conversation,
You might.
and learning about someone's life.
Totally, and you never know who you're going to be sitting next to.
Yeah.
It could be someone who's done all these amazing things
Yeah.
or has like a totally different perspective on the world than
Yeah.
you do.
And you'd never meet them otherwise.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, now this next one is a little bit more unconventional.
Okay.
What about eavesdropping on cabin gossip? Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm not saying this is like a great thing to do,
Right.
but let's be real. I think we've all been curious
Oh, yeah.
about those conversations happening around us.
We have.
It's like human nature to be a little nosy,
I think so.
right? Just to like get a glimpse into other people's lives.
Yeah, it's like a little window into their world.
Exactly. Even if it's just for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to some more practical stuff.
Okay.
Things that you can actually like get done.
Sounds good.
So if you're heading to a new place,
Yeah.
what about spending some time reading your guidebook?
Oh, yeah.
Like actually like really diving into it, circling things that you want to see, making notes.
Yes.
Because that can get you excited about your trip
It can.
and also help you plan out your time.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, so you're not just like, wasting time. You're actually...
Right. You're being productive.
Exactly.
And it's a good way to find those like hidden gems
Yeah.
that you might miss otherwise.
Totally. All right, here's another practical one.
Okay.
Getting all your immigration documents sorted out.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Right, because nobody wants to be like fumbling with papers
No.
when you're tired and you just got off a long flight.
Exactly. Yeah, it's much better to do it.
On the plane?
Yeah, when you have time and space.
Yeah, and like a flat surface.
Right. And you're not stressed out.
Exactly. So you can just relax.
Yep.
And get it all done.
Makes arriving so much smoother.
Yeah, totally. All right, back to games for a second.
Okay.
But this time, card games.
All right. I like card games.
Yeah, me too. So maybe you can convince someone to play with you,
Yeah.
like Crazy Eights or Go Fish.
Those are classics.
Or if you're by yourself. Solitaire is always an option.
Yeah, solitaire's a good one.
Yeah. And you can play with a real deck or on your phone.
That's true.
Do you
Yeah.
find that certain games are better for planes than others?
I do, yeah. I think games that are like easy to learn
Yeah.
and don't take up a lot of space, and you can easily stop them
Yeah.
if you need to.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Those are the best ones for planes, and card games are often perfect for that.
Yeah, totally. Okay, this next one's quick, and it's more about just being responsible.
Okay.
Taking a minute to actually read the safety card.
Oh, yeah.
The one in the seat pocket.
The one everyone ignores.
Yeah, pretty much. But, I mean, it's good to refresh your memory,
It is.
just in case.
Just in case.
Right, because you never know.
You never know.
And it's like, it only takes a couple of minutes.
Exactly.
Okay, so if you're on the way home from a trip,
Yeah.
what about writing about your experiences
Oh, that's nice.
while they're still fresh in your mind?
Yeah.
Because that way you can capture those memories
Yes.
and really reflect on what you did and saw.
Yeah. And it's a nice way to like relive it
Yeah.
while you're still up in the air.
Yeah. And I think it's especially cool because nowadays,
Yeah.
people don't really write that much.
They don't.
So it's like a special thing.
It is.
Okay, now for the people who can't seem to switch off from work,
Oh, yeah.
a long flight can be a good chance to get stuff done.
It can.
Because there are fewer distractions.
Yes.
So you can really focus.
Yeah, it's like a little bubble of productivity
Yeah.
away from the office.
As long as your laptop battery holds out.
True. That's a good point.
Okay, let's talk about well-being and comfort.
Okay.
Because, being stuck on a plane for that long,
Yeah,
it can be tough on your body.
it can.
So first and foremost, move around.
Yes.
Like get up and walk up and down the aisles,
Yeah.
do some stretches in your seat,
Yeah.
just anything to like keep your blood flowing.
Yeah. Because sitting for that long is not good for you.
No, it's really not.
And you don't want to get off the plane feeling like
Yeah, all
sensitive.
stiff, robot. Yeah.
Okay, here's a tip for dealing with jet lag.
Okay.
Start adjusting to your destination's time zone.
On the plane.
Yeah. So if it's nighttime where you're going,
Yeah.
try to sleep on the plane.
Right. Even if it's hard.
Yeah, because it can help your body adjust
It can.
more quickly when you actually land.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah. This one's fun.
Yeah.
How about learning some basic phrases
Oh, yeah.
in the local language?
For the place you're going to.
Yeah, like even just like, hello, thank you, where's the bathroom?
Yeah, the essentials. Yeah. Or how to order a beer.
That's a good one.
Right. And there's some great apps for this.
Yeah, Duolingo is really good.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, and it's just nice to make an effort,
It is.
even if you only know a few words.
Yeah, it shows that you're trying.
Exactly.
And it can make your trip more fun.
It can.
Okay, speaking of feeling more human,
Uh-huh.
make sure to freshen up in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, good tip.
Right. Brush your teeth,
Yeah.
wash your face,
Yeah.
use some hand sanitizer.
So important.
Yeah, especially with all those germs flying around.
Absolutely.
All right, for anyone who gets nervous on flights,
Yeah,
meditation and yoga can be really helpful
they can.
for calming those nerves.
Yeah.
And there are tons of apps and resources
There are.
specifically for like flight anxiety.
Yeah, and even just some deep breaths
Yeah,
can make a difference.
totally. Okay, this was for the techies.
All right.
If you've been filming your trip,
Yeah.
editing your videos on the plane
Oh, that's a good idea.
can be a good way to pass the time.
It is. Yeah, it can take a while,
Yeah.
but it's nice to get it done.
Yeah, and you can use those apps like iMovie or Androvid.
Right on your phone or tablet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about some more passive stuff.
Okay.
So if you have a window seat,
Lucky you.
right, take some time to just enjoy the view
Yeah.
and maybe take some pictures.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can see from up there.
It is.
Different landscapes and cloud formations.
It's a whole different perspective.
It is.
All right, here's a really cool idea.
Okay.
Write a letter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like an actual letter.
Old school.
I know, right? But I think it's so nice.
It is.
Because in this digital age,
Yeah.
getting a handwritten letter,
Yeah.
it's so special.
It is. It shows you really care.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, we talked about podcasts earlier,
We did.
but I think they deserve their own shout out
Yeah, for sure.
because there's just so much out there,
There is.
whatever you're interested in.
You can find a podcast about it.
Yeah, and it's a good way to learn something new
Yeah.
or just be entertained.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, here's one that I think we all rush through.
What's that?
Eating.
Oh, eating. Yeah.
Yeah, like those plain meals,
Right.
they're not always the best.
They're not.
But if you take your time,
Yeah.
it can actually help pass the time,
It can.
and it's better for your digestion.
It is. Yeah.
Okay, and finally,
Okay.
the last resort,
The last resort.
getting drunk.
Ah,
Yeah. Now, obviously, we're not recommending this.
right.
I mean, drinking too much on a plane,
Yeah.
it's probably not a good idea.
Probably not.
But it was in the list of suggestions, so
It was.
we had to mention it.
We did.
All right, so there you have it.
A whole bunch of ideas
Tons of ideas.
for surviving those long flights.
Right, and I think it shows that
Yeah,
there's something for everyone.
exactly.
Whatever your personality is.
Yeah.
Whatever you're into.
Whether you want to be creative or social or productive.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the important thing is to be proactive.
Yeah.
Don't just sit there and be bored.
Right.
Choose something that you enjoy
Yes.
and make the most of that time.
Exactly. Turn it into something positive.
So here's something to think about
Okay.
before your next long flight.
Yeah.
Which of these activities sounds the most appealing to you,
Okay.
and what might you get out of it?
Oh, interesting.
Maybe you discover a new hobby.
Yeah.
Or you have an interesting conversation with a stranger.
Right. Or you learn a new skill.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So think about how you can turn that flight
Yeah.
into something more than just
A boring necessity.
exactly.
Yeah. I love that.
Because it doesn't have to be.
It does.
You can make it
an adventure.
an adventure. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
All right. That's all for today. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone.